Hey, my name is John. Welcome to the garage.
Because I don't know how to operate shit. Got Rich over here.
What's the stereotypical YouTube thing? Hi guys, what's up here, Clark? It's your boy, Rich and Rich. Working on shit.
Alright, the 87 is, I got a lot more pieces to it. This thing's a lot more back together. Rich is, you can't really see what he's doing here, but pulling out the thermostat, we pulled the thermostat out.
Alright, Trav, can you just push it and hold it down, please?
I'm doing some brake bleeding right now while Trav's in here.
What's up?
Interior's a hell of a lot cleaner, I think.
It's where?
Whatever, John can edit that out. There's a fuel tank in there. It's not running off of Chapman's ice cream bucket.
Still running off the EcoBoost fuel pump though.
If anybody wants to see what some gross looking brake fluid looks like, that'd be that.
It's brand new.
.3 or .4? It's .3. Jeez Louise, that is some gross looking .3.
Alright, go ahead, Trav.
I think Rob Dom uses like heaps. Yeah, like the hair company and shit, but
Look at all that bleeding action going on.
Alright, good. Hold her down.
yep, no ad revenue on here.
We did already bleed this. We're just
Just doing it again.
yeah, because I had a line that I left loose.
Oh yeah, so it probably sucks some air in. That'll happen. Rich, why aren't the wheels on it right now? You know how much sweeter this would look?
Swap.
This would look amazing if the wheels were
Back
on
to
it.
the future, yo.
We should do some DeLorean mode. We could put like hydraulics in there that'll tilt the knuckle completely sideways and
like that.
oh man.
Really fucking why?
Well, why not? It's a real question. Temporary cooling system setup. I got this run down there, not very nicely, but it'll do for now. It'll do.
So for those of you that don't know, this is my buddy Richie's car. It is a 87 Corolla GTS coupe, and we have swapped in. This has been a long work in progress. Originally, this car was going to get a 5.3, 3-speed Saginaw, and it has a Blazer diff in the back. So that was the original plan. That's where we started. We had half the firewall cut out, and we got the engine in, mounts, started running. Like it was pretty close. Then he was like, no, it's going to be way too heavy, which he's right. It would have been way too heavy. And this is probably cooler. So he changed his mind. We left the Blazer diff in the back. That's why we got so much, poke out the back there. And we put in K24 A2, I believe. And it has a custom bell housing, which you can't see down there, mated to a Supra transmission. He modified the oil pan a little bit to clear the cross member. Got these fancy mounts. S2000 headers, which he chopped off at the flange and put a K24 exhaust manifold flange on. That turned out really nice. I like that. S2000 intake, throttle body, and we did have S2000 injectors in there, but we changed them over to the K24 ones. A little bit of modifying to the O-rings and changing some stuff around seemed to work. Beautiful little adapter here that bolts that all together. Got a fuel pressure regulator, a nice AEM one. That thing is beautiful. He drilled and he tapped the rail for a fuel gauge. Turned out really nice. Intake, super simple, just a piece of hose, pod filter. There's a intake air temp sensor drilled into the bottom of this. Not too shabby. We're running a Toyota Yaris radiator because that's what we could find that had close ports. Ideally, they should both be on that side, but we got one on the top, one on the bottom. That seemed to work. And what else have we got done here? So we got, from last time you seen it, we had wires everywhere. The floor pans and the dash was half apart. Now she's all tucked up. She's tidied up. Basically, you just turn key on and this thing fires right up. Battery, it's been relocated to the back. Sitting in there, we got a little battery box. He needs a master switch for it, but that's fine. It's good for now. Just take the negative off when you're not riding. I got these wheels. I like these. These are more period correct. He's looking into a set of over fenders that would cover up this so we could get rid of some of this nastiness here that's got going on. But yeah, wheels look cool. Rich has purchased a brand new fuel tank. which was awesome. I think that was just a Rock Auto find. It's reasonably cheap, I thought, but yeah, that turned out really nice. Yeah, just a nice replacement fuel tank, and so we could put the sender in, which that works great. And then he has a working fuel gauge. Our issue is the fuel pump hanger. That got tossed because it was just rusted right out. It's unfortunate. So I had to build one of those. It's running a 2013, 2014 EcoBoost, like a 2-liter EcoBoost fuel pump. Not for any special reason other than that's what we had. And I ended up, I just took it out of all of its plastic housing, casing, and kind of just made her like an old school fuel pump unit. Like remade the pump hanger to fit in this tank, and reworked that pump to fit on the pump hanger. Wired it all in. Seems to work. She makes a lot of pressure, I'll tell you that. We had to turn her down at about, it was at like 90, which is way too much. So we had to turn her down to about 50, 55. But yeah, this thing is coming together. This thing is nearly done. Like, honestly, like the mechanical part of it is, I think we're pretty much there. He has to like rework some exhaust, and there's a weld list on it, which, good thing for Rich, he's a welder. So he's probably going to take this thing to work, and we're not going to see it for quite a while. But hopefully he can get all of his welding done. And a set of over fenders. And this thing will just be... This is a fun car. This one, I'm excited to see this thing on the road. Hopefully no issues. Hopefully she just runs and drives and is flawless. But anyway, Rich is coming over later today. So I think we're going to try and take it for a drive. And yeah, see if it's got any issues that are needing to be worked out. Sounds good. Thank you. I've been fighting with a problem, and every time that a guy would fire it up, it would start really, really hard. And then once it did run, then as soon as you gave it any gas, it would just sputter and die, and that's kind of what you saw for the night last time that you saw a driving video. But yeah, that ended up being the map sensor. And what had happened was the K-Series 1 and the S2000 sensor just have different inputs on the sensor. So I had the outside two wires flipped around, so I thought it was just always just right, Rich. So yeah. Fixed that, cleaned it up, and that's as good as it's ever been. We have to dial our fuel pressure back just a wee bit there. I don't think 90 is going to cut her. There we go, that's a little better. Put around 55. Anyway, like I was saying, map sensor wires are flipped. So now, surprisingly wasn't giving me a code for any map sensors. It was reading fine. We actually checked Travis's K24 swap Civic, and the live data on both were pretty much identical. So I was confused for a bit, and then Richie managed to find some different pinouts than what I had. I actually hadn't even checked the pinouts. If I'm being honest, I just wired them straight exactly like the other sensors were wired, and I figured they'd be the same, and if they weren't the same, then they'd throw a code. But they didn't throw any codes. So that's weird. But that switched around, and this is the best it's ever run. I'm happy about this. Right now, all I have left for codes is just my, well, I guess it'd be the rear O2, which it doesn't even have a rear O2 in here. It's, that's that. Anyway, we haven't driven it like this. I got it sorted out last night, and then by the time I got into it, it was 11. So it's getting her warmed up a little bit now, and then we'll probably roll it out, go for a drive. Basically, I just need to move it out of the garage so I can work on my daily. She needs brakes, you know, maintenance-y things that all car guys hate doing, but oh yeah, it clicks into gear nice. Oh. Yeah, that's a cause. Okay. Oh, boys. It's freaking exciting. Watch me get a ticket. Does it turn in circles? Sounds like it rubs a little bit. I kind of want to take her on the block, but I have other things to do today, so we're going to wait till later and Rich and the boys show up. That's launching here. I'm sure my wife will be pleased that we've got yet another car in the backyard. We already got American Civic, Datsun, Trav Civic. Just got kids got no space to play. What do you do? She looks good in the dark. Oh, safety first.
The mirrors don't work either. I forgot. Wait, do they? Where are they?
You want me to adjust mine or what? Can you see?
I got it. They're electric, so. Well, she creeps a little better.
Just minus all the tire rub that's going on back there.
Well, you know, I mean, let's be honest. Oh, that's a lot.
It's a lot. That'll force you to drive slow.
I can't do that. You can't do that. Well, that exhaust is so bad. Where are we at?
60 degrees. Should have told you to bring your phone back over. Fix these fenders real quick. Or a mallet. How are the brakes?
Oh, not that great.
They're a little dippy.
Honda's better
Yeah, she
than
feels like she pulls pretty good.
Dude.
I was like, yeah, I started getting excited there for a second. Mostly because I was terrified.
What's the exhaust at? The exhaust at, or the engine temps at?
Only 70.
Only.
I don't know if I can do the tire rub anymore. shocks don't work at all.
No, not at all. He sold me, this old man sold me fucked up straws.
100%. He's like, yeah, these are blowing out. I'm gonna pawn these off with some other kid.
Yeah, the brakes are
Locker
fucking.
locks.
The brakes are like not a thing. Fuck yeah, Sean. Oh, I want to do that again.
I'm not riding with you.
What's that say? Ejectocito, cuz? Oh, CD eject. Never mind.
Yeah, these struts are fucking.
I don't want to lose John's phone. I think John might just be a little unhappy if that happens. It's definitely out, like you said.
What do you mean your speed thing doesn't work? Oh, what? Oh, what? What the fuck?
Yeah, it's working right now. We were just doing 40.
It's definitely out, but no. Alright.
Just the RPM doesn't work.
Yeah, that's whatever. Yeah, your speed works. We gotta figure out if it's out or not. Yeah, your speed works.
Oh, that's holy fuck. Wow. Yes. Can you imagine this thing with a turbo? Fuck. Man. Oh, she just mean. She just sounds mean too, hey? Buddy, she's cooled off since we left. It's 57.
I guess because of that fucking no thermostat. Shit, we're
That's how my car is too.
Here we go.
Oh, is this
bro.
your barks or what?
No, but
You're tempted to, aren't you? Almost need to go back and just try that again. We almost need to go back and try that again.
We're getting the fuck out of here.
Oh, there's people walking.
Fucking feel the weight now.
Oh yeah, she feels thick.
A little springy. Every time you clutch
With no revving.
Yeah. Like halfway between quarter and empty. These gauges are kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm gonna.
I probably have a little bit in jerry can. We could just get you to the fuel station.
Pretty much whatever up, but I'll be able to get the pull up.
You're just not used to driving it in the light. Later, homie.